What up, what up, what up, Hype Squad? It's your boy Lucrecio coming at you with another video. And if you're new, welcome to Exceed the Hype. To join the Hype Squad, click that subscribe button, alright? And if you're enjoying this content, make sure you leave a like and a comment. So, today's video is about the Dallas Mavericks and what's going on with the Dallas Mavericks. Well, in my opinion, they really need to hit big on this upcoming draft and focus on this upcoming draft. Let's talk about what's going on with the Mavericks right now. Well, Harrison Barnes, who is now their franchise player, is currently averaging 18 points, 7 rebounds on 44% shooting. All right, not bad. Is that production enough for a number one option? That's the question I would have with Harrison Barnes, but he is bringing it consistently. So Harrison Barnes is doing a good job in my opinion. You have Dennis Smith Jr., the rookie, the highly touted rookie, who's bringing in 14 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds per game. He's obviously living up to the hype that he had coming in, or exceeding the hype. I think he's going to be very good going forward. Now he's starting to understand NBA basketball and things of that nature. He's playing well in my opinion, and he's, bringing a little bit of consistency himself. Dirk, on his last legs, is still giving an effort of 12 points and 6 rebounds per game. And Wesley Matthews is chipping in about 12 points and shooting 38% from 3. All right, so those are some of the high points of what's going on with the Dallas Mavericks. They're fighting. They don't have the talent that a lot of other teams in the NBA have at this current time, but they're consistently fighting. Carlisle has them giving effort every single day. They do have some signature wins this season. They knocked off some good teams so far this season. So, you have to come to play when you play the Mavericks, but at this point, they just don't have the talent. Let's see. Some good things going on with the Mavericks, though. Their scouting is proven to be on point because they hit big on Dennis Smith Jr., of course, which, okay, that one may not have been that hard. But Yogi Ferrell, they also hit big on him. He's giving them about 10 points per game, and he's a very reliable backup point guard, okay? And they're getting production out of G League caliber type players, right? So obviously the coaching, to me, that means the coaching is obviously very good. And it also means the scouting is very good because they have an eye for locating talent, even when, other teams may have given up on them, i.e. Yogi Ferrell. All right, so let's talk about some of the not so good things going on with the Dallas Mavericks, all right? Currently, they are 12-22 out in the West. They're 13th in the West. Not gonna cut it. A whole lot of losses. Like I said, they do have some good wins versus very good teams, but ultimately they lose a lot, and it's just because night to night they don't have the production that they need to keep pace with some of these better teams in the NBA. They also got hit unfairly by the injury bug. Seth Curry, somebody I really expected big things from because he took such a big step last season and was a very consistent production for them last year. I thought he would take another step this year and be even better. Well, he's been out, and there's not even a time frame for his return. So Seth Curry has been out all season. You also have Josh McRoberts, who was a key free agent they were able to pick up. They expected, him to help them stretch the floor a little bit more from that 4 position. He's been out. There's nobody knows when he's coming back. Dorian Finney-Smith, somebody who they got from the G League, who they have gotten, pretty good production out of. He's out. All right, and Nerlens Noel is out. I believe he'll be back in like 4 to 6 weeks or whatever. But Nerlens Noel is another story. We'll get into Nerlens Noel a little bit later. They just don't have enough scoring going on. They're the bottom of the NBA in several categories, several very important categories: offensive rebounds, free throws. They rank at the bottom of the NBA. You also have steals, blocks, field goal percentage. It's tough. There's a lot of, defensively, they really need help. They need help. They need somebody, a good slasher who can get to the basket consistently and also get to the free throw line a lot, or maybe multiple guys like that. And they just need help on the boards as well. So as you can see, Dallas is struggling, and once again, it goes back to not having the talent necessary to really compete in today's NBA, because there's a lot of good teams out west, and to compete, you just got to have better players, right? So what I think the Mavs should do going forward. Number one, I think they really need to trade Nerlens Noel. They need to find whatever market is out there for Nerlens Noel, tap into it, get him out of there. He is 6'11", he's a rim protector. He's somebody he has a pretty good shot from 17 feet. He has a couple post moves. You know, he's not a bad player. He's fallen out of favor in Dallas almost right when he got there. They traded for him, and he didn't want to sign an extension. He decided to take a qualifying offer for 1 year so he could be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this year. It's just a bad marriage between him and Dallas, almost right from the start. So that was definitely negative. So they need to try to get him out of there. There's a lot of teams we can help. He'll be back pretty soon. He could help quite a few teams. They need to try to get some value for him. Otherwise, it was just a waste of time. You also have Wesley Matthews. Now, Wesley Matthews has been good for the Dallas Mavericks these past couple years. All right, I know he's been a leader in the locker room. He's had good production out on the court. You know, he's been the guy for them. There is gonna be value for him around the All-Star break. Though other teams, contending teams, need a two guard who can play good defense and who can also shoot the three at a reasonable percentage. Like I said earlier, he's shooting at 38% from the three-point line. He can help a lot of teams. He's gonna have value out there. Teams will give up something to bolster their backcourt with a player like Wesley Matthews. In my opinion, they need to use whatever assets they have and try to get some rim protection out there. Blocks is one of the areas where they ranked towards the bottom of the NBA. So they really need somebody, and steals as well. So they really need somebody with a defensive mindset, somebody with a lot of length or whatever, to kind of get in the passing lanes, to kind of get deflections, to get blocks, to discourage people from getting to the basket, basically. That's really what I feel like they need, and I feel like they should get it. They should try their best to get it in the trade market and not the draft, because I feel like in this draft they really need to go after a heavy hitter, whether it's Colin Sexton or whatever, and whether they plan to play him at a two guard or whatever the case may be. But somebody who could really score. They need somebody who's a game changer scoring wise. All right. Now there's a couple guys who could be like that in this draft. But they really need that sooner than later, or else they're just not going to really be able to compete legitimately in the Western Conference. All right, but that's what I think about the Dallas Mavericks at this point in the season. I think they're a well-coached, well-scouted team who does their homework on players, who finds talent anywhere. Right? The problem is they really need elite talent. They need somebody to take over that number one role on the team. Now, whether or not Dennis Smith Jr. will be in a position to do that in 2 or 3 years, maybe. But if he's not, if he's more of a secondary scorer or whatever, not the primary scoring option every night, they really need somebody to fill that primary role. I believe Harrison Barnes is better as a second or third option. Once again, 18 points, very consistent. You'll be very good if he's a second or third option on your team, just not the first. If you can get somebody in there, a better first option, you'll be tough. All right, that and some defensive presence, protecting the rim, helping out on the boards, possibly even getting some putbacks for offensive rebounds or whatever to raise that ranking up some. All right, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you think the Dallas Mavericks need to do? What do you think is going on? Just leave it all below in the comment section. As always, if you enjoyed this content, leave a like. All right. And as always, see you next time. All right.